Matt. This is a response to your recent post on evil and polarity. And I feel it, through your post, I feel desirous to break the format of my channel, which was set up to sort of um, uh, to share my enjoyment of games of war, to highlight how war is legitimate in our own minds, not in dismembering each other's bodies. The motto of the channel comes from a 160s or so year old gent called um, Rudolph, and he quit in response to Clausewitz's dictum, which is war is politics by other means, meaning policies between nations can can just be extended into war. They are just the same thing in different modes. To which Rudolf Steiner quit: if war is politics by other means, then divorce is marriage by other means. Um, and that's plain to see. You know, whereas the polity between different policies, if they are at war with each other. And I, your words, I felt very deep wisdom, and I would like to extend what you were extending. Um, you spoke of the polarity of evil, so not to look at evil as an other um, out there beyond the south, but um, as two extremes that we can all hold. So you have a left and a right, and if one extends and remains in any one extreme, it's unhelpful for life in general. And Whitehead's dictum is uh, miraculously echoed by Rudolph's in remarkably similar words. Um, that evil is creation in the wrong season, creativity in the wrong season. So, you know, there's a place where everything under the sun, but when things get out of joint, we cause trouble for each other. And anyway, so I want to go to you made the point that at no point does one want to say one should not go to war in order to save one's loved ones. Um, because we all feel that if somebody stepped into one's house and raised a sword to one's child, I don't think any of us would just um, feel nothing and desire to do nothing in response to that. I want to invite into this um, conversation what Abraham was faced with, where his beloved most son, his child, that which is naturally most beloved to all of us, was invited to the sword. And what would he do about it? One might say, and every natural person might say, he betrayed life. He betrayed his son and offered him up to death. And then we can go to another where that same impulse is brought even closer to one later than Abraham, where the sword was offered to their neck, and they could have just raised a little finger, and all the angels of heaven would have saved them, or just a word unto Pilate, a justification or a negation, a a betrayal of themselves would have saved their neck. And I wonder when, of all of us, if we reach that existential point of emergency, how we will respond. Will we continue strife, or will we um, not continue strife? And it's so easy because interesting because you mentioned emergency, and we all feel the emergency, present, clear and present emergency. What is emergency? It's something emerging, not just any old thing which is happening all the time, but it's something that we feel is an existential threat. That's when just normal emergence becomes emergency. And so normally we're all continually modifying what we think and feel and what we do, depending on what's new and emergent in in and around us. Um, and so an emergency is distinguished by it feels such a new emergence that it, we're led to the question: is it either that or me? And so we're put at this point, not only where Abraham was, but where the later one was. And and so and then that is the question that all of us answer, either without not being able to pause and think and comprehend both the polarities, um, or being able to do so. Because it's interesting, because if that another raises a sword against a son, or daughter, a progeny, um, and then that we feel justified to raise the sword against them and get in quicker and first and before. There's not. I don't believe there's any other way to look at it in full realization, except to acknowledge that if that is our ultimate right, right being a standpoint, that to notice too that that is theirs as well, and mayhap that is what they're operating from too, a defense of that which is their treasure. And and so it would be interesting if in that moment it, each of us is able to call a halt. Usually we feel there's no time. We have to react. We have to respond before the threat, the emergency, overtakes us. Is it possible that even at those times uh, we are able to halt time itself in the sense of just for a, a gazano second, not wait, and in that can something new emerge? Will something different happen beyond just one against other? It's, um, you know, until one meets a moment where of existential threat of emergency, um, this is an untested hypothesis, but that's where we can welcome, in a sense, emergency, whereby we can test and be tested. And what choice is choice? do we have? Either we lay the sword to the other and eradicate them, eradicate the threat, or we wait and let the face-so will lay the sword to us and eradicate us. And which is the preferable choice? I see in the first, we continue in strife. We acknowledge strife as an unavoidable consequence of existence. And we go forward in that. We slay the other out of the way, that we can go forward in strife. Or, and I'll just leave that hanging as a question. And I guess that's kind of the end of this stream. I'll let it flow out into the wider world.